So the Republicans got him. The GSA was doing a conference in Las Vegas in 2010, and it was wild and out of control. It's the General Services Administration, and there's some irony in those guys overspending because they're supposed to keep an eye out on all the other parts of government. So while they're keeping an eye out on them, they're in Vegas. And apparently what happened in Vegas did not stay in Vegas. They spent $820,000 and made goofy videos like this.
I traveled the world to London, Peru, getting that voucher approved for me too. The life of a rockstar, and I got to say, ain't no place better than GSA. Not trying to get all touchy-feely, but I gotta give props to my man Jeff Neely. Work hard, play harder, I must confess. Live every day like AWS.
Spitting fire so hot, I melt your popsicle. The way we fill in buildings, it's almost comical. It's logical, improbable, but not impossible. With PBS services, you found the pot of gold. You building out your space, custom tier has an optional. But if you're getting fancy, best go get your reimbursable. RWA, hey. We pimping out your space, so don't try not to pay.
I got that GS20. You love my GS20.
You know what? I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I didn't think that was that bad. I thought it was like a pretty decent rap for like amateur hacks, right? And some of the girls were hot. Some of the costumes were scary. Like, I don't know if it was the bunny riding along on the bike first, but that scared me. And then Gumby scared me a little bit. Okay. Now, of course, this lib defending the Obama administration doing this. If you watch this show, you know that's not what's coming. No. Are they guilty? Absolutely. Totally guilty. Here, let me give you more of the details here. They spent $95 per person on a dinner reception at the M Resort Spa and Casino. Did they? Look, you want to spend $95 on dinner? God bless your heart, okay? Don't charge it to me. I'm the taxpayer. I got no interest. They had $7,000 in sushi in another instance, $3,700 on T-shirts. Well, maybe you could make an argument for that, depending on how many T-shirts you got. Is there any promotional value? But on the other hand, what are you doing promotion for the General Services Administration for? Okay, but my favorite, $3,200 for a mind reader. Apparently that guy didn't do his job because he could have told you, hey, you know what? If I'm looking at reading the minds of the people that are going to analyze this later, well, it's not going to look pretty for you, right? So this is a total disaster. And they're obviously wrong for doing this in lavish style like this. Now, the Obama administration is fighting back by saying, well, do you know that the GSA budget actually blew up under the Bush administration? And that, in fact, the Bush administration increased the GSA budget for events like this 250%. So we were just going along with what they were doing. Yeah. Okay, so Bush administration, also guilty. But here, you got video, you got the amounts they spent. It doesn't excuse what the Obama administration did at all. That is not an excuse. And I hate it when they do that, when they say, oh, Bush was doing warrantless surveillance, so we decided to do warrantless wiretapping. No, that's not an excuse. That just means you're both guilty. And they weren't stupid enough to get caught on tape. But I do want to give you a sense of perspective, though, because this is important. So $800,000, that's a lot of money, right? Now, on the other hand, Republicans fight to protect oil subsidies. In fact, they just killed a piece of legislation that would take away some of the oil subsidies. Now, oil subsidies are money that's coming out of taxpayer pocket as well and going to the largest, most profitable companies in the world to incentivize them to do something that they do in the free market anyway and need absolutely no incentive for. Now, how much do we waste on that? I mean, is it the same as GSA, a little less than the GSA, a little more? Come on. It is, I read as high as $7 billion a year, but let's just take the conservative estimate that President Obama has put forward, saying $4 billion a year, right? Now, that's the reality. It's at least $4 billion in subsidies going to the oil companies. President Obama says he wants to take that away. $820,000 versus $4 billion a year, okay? So let's do some quick math. $4 billion divided by 365 days equals close to $11 million a day, which means that you would have a GSA-like scandal in terms of how much money that was spent every 2 hours based on the money that we spent on oil subsidies. So that money that we're taking out of taxpayers' pocket, Well, every 2 hours, there's a GSA-size scandal that comes out of your pocket because of those oil subsidies that the politicians gave to the oil companies because they're bought by the oil companies. So you want to get outraged by GSA? I'm 100% with you. But also get outraged by the much more money that we are spending and throwing away and robbing of the taxpayers in 88 different ways. The oil subsidy is just one example. You can go to the bailouts, you can go to the crony capitalists, you can go to every kind of waste you can. Look at the F-35, that program is costing us $1 trillion, and we haven't gotten a single plane up yet. It's ridiculous. The waste there is legendary. So get upset about this, but don't let it distract you from the real waste in our government, which is these companies going and buying our politicians to funnel billions and sometimes trillions of dollars their way.